5 assists and no turnovers tonight. That's pretty good for your backup big man. I mean, all three of your big men can pass pretty well. Just talk about that development of that part of Malik's game developing.
Yeah, I mean, Malik's always had that. I think the thing for him is he's had a few uncharacteristic turnovers, and tonight he was, I mean, spectacular. You know, I wanted him to shoot the other three in the second half like he did in the first half. Besides that, I just thought he was, you know, as close to perfect as could be. His activity on the ball, his activity in pick and roll defense. He just had a great way about him. And then for us, our playmaking from our bigs is a big strength of ours. I mean, you know what, Malik, Cam, and Pat tonight, I mean, they had 11 assists and 2 turnovers. I'm not sure there's many front courts in the country that can pass, value the ball, score. They're doing a lot for us. And to me, that's a separator.
Hey John, this game was moved up for the weather. What would you like to see happen with Louisville coming into town Monday, and how does just the uncertainty of the weather affect you guys?
Well, 2 games ago we played at 11 o'clock Eastern time at night. You know, obviously today we're playing at noon. Our mentality is whatever time, wherever we're playing, we'll be ready to go. I mean, I think clarity helps, right? I thought the league did a great job of just letting us know ahead of time. We're planning on playing Monday night, and we'll be ready to adjust if anything changes or if anything comes up.
Yeah, John, you mentioned inflection points from time to time. Obviously, 13-0 run is a pretty big inflection point.
That's right.
But what other points during the game did you feel like were key?
Well, I thought the second half, you know, I didn't love the way we came out. We had some fouls that hurt us, you know, the first 5, 6, 7 minutes there, or whatever it was. And I thought that separation from, you know, whether it's, I don't know exactly, but 12, 13 minutes to that 7, 8 minute mark, I thought we got separation, and that's the danger zone, right? That's where it can go from 10 to 4, or it can go from 10 to 16, or you can even push it from there. So I thought our guys did a good job of just really focusing in what the game plan was, what we had to do, and got separation. So same thing. First half, thought we weathered the storm, and just finally were able to go on that run, and which I think we're capable of.
Going back to Cam with the passing as a big man, especially when guys can know to make a good pass out of a double team, but maybe he can't always deliver it. But routinely you see him hitting a guy in stride as a cutter, cross court. I'm curious how you kind of look at what that does for your offense, his specific ability to pass out of a double team when everybody's collapsing on him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a luxury to have that, right? And, you know, then they didn't double, and he gets a 3-point play right away. And so the ability to do both, the fact that you don't feel he's ever going to force it, you just feel like he's going to make the right play. And there are guys that have done a great job embracing that and playing off of, you know, his post-ups. I thought he got Malik and Pat some easy ones too. And then we surround him with great spacing and shooting, which I think for our guys, just to be ready, knowing that each game we can see that. They can turn it on and off. They can adjust during the game. But it's something I think we're getting comfortable with and used to playing against a little bit more.
Coach, at the beginning of the year, you were switching almost every time.
Yeah.
Tonight, hardly ever switched. Can you talk about that change in philosophy?
Yeah, I think it's an evolution, you know, for where we were, where we are, and where we're going. I've always been a big switch guy. You know, I love switching. You know, I love switching 1 through 5 to stand teams up. I don't think we necessarily did that as well as we normally have. I think our guys have actually developed a better toughness fighting through some screens, but we have to be ready to switch still. I think there's adjustments still to be made, but I think the exciting part as a coach, you're finding each team what works for them, you know, and how do we play to our strengths that's best for us. And for me, I don't think it's one way you have to play defense. I think there's adjustments you have to make as a coach. You have to make sure your guys feel good. You know, I asked them, we went through a period a week and a half ago. I asked them how they feel, what they feel most comfortable with, because I think that's their ownership in what we're doing is really important as well. So we'll continue to adjust depending on game plans and who we're playing, but we have to be ready to switch and not switch for sure.
Coach, I wanted to kind of switch subjects very quickly. We've seen over the last several days a lot of European basketball players from overseas being granted TROs to play college basketball on the state side. How do you think that's going to transcend college basketball? And as a coach, how does that come into factor in recruiting high school kids versus players that already have pro experience overseas for your program?
Yeah, well, I would start off by saying this. I was the fact that I just started being a head coach 4 years ago, right, at 33, when I found that out, I think I was as adaptable and flexible as any coach out there, you know, and embracing the fact that there is going to be tremendous change. You don't need me to tell you that a lot's screwed up right now. I'm very invested in the future of college basketball, and I want to be a big part of how we can create change. Sitting up here to tell you that there's been 3 or 4 or even more times this year where you stop and scratch your head and say, wait, how is that possible? That's part of it though. And the biggest thing is how can you talk about changes being made if you don't have the enforcement required, right? And I know a lot of coaches are asking for clarity. I'm with that. I'm going to be part of the solution, though. I don't want to be a part of complaining. And I think there's a difference. And I respect and admire a lot of coaches that have spoken up about what you can do. And it's, as you know, when his hands are tied, when you have a TRO that says you can't do anything to punish, right? And so, again, I think this is really important. I've thought a lot about it. Obviously, my mind is on Louisville now and, you know, debriefing this game. But I can tell you I'm going to be involved heavily to try to rally some coaches and try to figure out how we can have a real solution. Because a lot of things that I would like to say really can't be done in the environment and the way this thing is set up right now. So that's something I can tell you I'll be focused on though.
Coach, speaking of defense earlier, Dame Star, last 3 games especially, took out J.D. Ames, had no points at Cal in the first half. Becca Corey had 9 points on 3 of 9 with 4 turnovers, and then tonight Juke Harris had 3 points at halftime, 1 of 3. What does he do so well to get the #1 scoring option out of rhythm in the first half?
Well, he's so disruptive, he's disciplined, he takes great pride in it, you know, and Dame, you know, he had some uncharacteristic foul trouble tonight, but really, he's been a game changer on that end of the floor. And just like I said, it's a luxury to have Cam on offense to be able to create for us in that way. Dame is the same thing on defense. I'm gonna add one more thing to what I was just saying to you, because I'm not gonna go on all day here. I'll come back another time. Part of what's happened in the last couple of years, to me, is a positive thing, where the influx of talent in college basketball, to me, that's a positive thing. And so, are things happening now because NIL is a real thing? Yes. So not necessarily that some of the rules have not changed. Some have. I mean, some have, or some you don't even know what the rule is. But, you know, Kamal Malawaj, to be in a position, he can come to college, you know, and other professional opportunities, you know, those guys are going to the G League. You know, you think about the European players. I mean, I think that makes our game better. You know, high school players, obviously, we have to continue to recruit differently and put together a roster differently. I think we've done a really good job of that, and we'll continue to. But the influx of talent, I think, is a good thing, but just how you do that, exactly what the rules are, clarity, I think that's the thing that we got to figure out. And I don't want to sit up here and complain. I want to be able to tell you, here's exactly what I think should happen. And I can't do that at this moment.
Hey, John, I know this place is always jumping, but given what could possibly go on with the weather later on in our state, a lot of fans and students we talked to said it was a priority to be here. How gratifying is it that they still like this place?
That means a lot. You know, I think I think our students, one, they've done such a great job this whole year supporting us, but we'll do whatever to help these guys show up. You know, it means the world. It's a huge difference maker. And I have a feeling the Duke community, our fans, our students, they know what this means every time we play here, and I have a feeling we're going to see an electric crowd on Monday night.
Last one. Coach, just coming off the cross-country trip to California, had the week off, I know, not as long of a break as y'all have had this season, but just what was your message to the guys and how'd you get them back into their rhythm?
Well, learn from the 2 breaks we've had already. You know, really, we did a lot of running in practice, just making sure we're moving on. You know, I just wanted to help them set that tone and get ready for this game, obviously. And it's unique because you have a week off, but you get back so early in the morning on Sunday, and then you know you have these 2 games in 3 days. So it's a little bit of interesting timing, but I thought our guys had a mature approach. They were locked in, and did a really good job of just getting to the next thing, and we'll have to do that again for Monday.